What's up, y'all? How you doing? It's your boy Gerald. It is bright and early in the morning. It is the 8th, Sunday, February 2015. How are you? You're on the backside of your weekend. I hope it was, of course, blessed, enjoyable, and you're able to make time for yourself because it's your life. So don't squander your time. So how's everybody doing? So, um, I put a couple videos out yesterday. Yeah, I've been on a roll. You know, I've learned that when the Holy Spirit speaks to your heart, it is very important that you be still to receive the information intended for your direction. And this morning, I woke up early and I ended up channel surfing, and I turned on Beyond the Band Dance, Fix My Life. And there was a story on there about this father that had 3 sons. And the relationships they had were splintered because he wasn't in their lives. But when you took a step back, you could see not only, of course, his genetic makeup in them, but you could also see emotionally where he was in his life, the different phases. So, as you already know, there was a step in healing in that. So, it was really good to see that. And then so I started channel surfing because I didn't understand why I was up. I didn't understand. And I fell on, I think that's A&E Intervention. And there was a story of this queen who had chose to let her use of crack be her escapism from the world. And what was sad about it was she was a very attractive woman. But what made her so stunning even more is they showed her children, and they were adorable, like little stair steps. And you could see how the paradigm of the relationship that she had with her mother and the traumas that she faced at a young age had an impact on not only how she thought, but how she navigated her life. And it was very, very touching. It was. If you guys got, I don't know who I have Verizon here. I have Fios. So if you go on your on-demand and you pull up Andy's intervention, and the story's Letitia is her name. But you know, the one thing I saw out of that is no matter what your circumstance is, no matter what your reality is. I mean, right now you might be in where you feel you may feel that no one loves you. You may feel that your back is to the wall and you don't have any options. I'm here to tell you, listen, your higher power, as I know him as my Lord Jesus Christ, loves you. He never stopped. But it's required that you have the courage to love yourself. Because until you decide to love yourself, you cannot see your worth or value. And if you can't see your worth and value, how can you or why would you invest in something that you can't believe in? And that starts with you. I'm not talking about the person that the world sees, because guess what? There's many of people walking around with masks on. I'm talking about the person that's inside you that makes your conscience. You know, that little boy and that little girl just says, hey, I feel safe enough to do this. Or, hey, this ain't where you need to be at. That's why it's very important that you forge a relationship with the Creator. Because guess what? When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, that's when you shine the most. Because guess what? He's going to protect his own. He's going to protect his own. And a lot of times, with that, he will move you from situations that you may not realize are your best interests. He may turn around and you may thinking that you're going through a season where there's a lot of hardship, but in actuality, what is being revealed is it's causing you to reflect on where you are. Don't you realize we tend to think a lot when we've got uncertainty going on, or there's some type of crisis. We get real quick, and we're trying to sort it out because we want the best logical outcome for ourselves and those involved. So it's very important that no matter what, you stay true to yourself. And no matter what your reality is, you have courage to deal with it. I know somebody may be saying right now, well, Gerald, I'm 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. I'm on the verge of being homeless. And if I don't play my part, the person that I'm aligned with, they're going to throw me out with the trash. Well, guess what? If they don't see your worth, it don't matter. They don't deserve you anyway, and guess what? You shouldn't be laying your head anyway, because they will never see their worth. They're actually using their environment to control the way you think and what you do. And your life is so beautiful. It's easy for someone from the outside to speak upon something that they don't have to deal with on a regular basis. And I get that. I do. But I'm going to turn the corner on something because I put a video out yesterday, right? And I was talking about how society has embraced more or less a voyeuristic mindset, and that's why you have everybody, like the thing to do is to have, a sex tape out there, like that's the accolade, and when actually it does a disservice. So this person, how you doing? This subscriber reached out to me and he said, well, and I'm gonna paraphrase. He said, well, you know what, Gerald? It always starts out good in the beginning, but then you see the true person, and truth be told, there are people that don't deserve to be married or be in monogamous relationships. And he turned around, not to make light, but he turned around and he sent me 2 links to prove his point. And I was like, I clicked it, and it was what I thought it was. And it was 2 examples of women engaging in a sexual act on film. And the kicker was there was deception in that, because the fact that they were cheating and was bold with it to the degree that the person that they were involved with, they were on the phone. It was just really, really narcissistic, and the person on the other end had no clue. And there's just, you know, and I was shocked. I'm not no spring chicken. I'm not naive. People do what they do. That's why you have free will. So I couldn't even defend it like I wanted to, but all I could say is this. God said it best. Vengeance is His. It's not ours. It's not our place. Because every time that you take it upon yourself to do something out of malicious, being vindictive, being spiteful, you end up paying for it 10 times more than the act itself. I'll explain. That's like you going in a store, right? And you go and steal a piece of 5-cent bubble gum. And you get away with it. And then you turn around, go back there again to pull it off. Try to be bold with it. Now your ego's involved. So then what happens? Now you get caught. But here's the divine intervention part. That 5-cent piece of bubble gum that you took, you end up paying 10 times more than what was worth. You understand what I'm saying? Something that costs 5 cents is going to cost you $500, but it's going to cost you more because it was your time that you can't get back. It's going to leave a scar, emotionally as well as legally. That's how divine intervention is. God said it best. You know what? You're going to have people that are going to try you. Because they're surprised they even in your life. So they're going to try to maneuver and see what they can do and what they can't do. And they're going to test you. You know how I always say, an opportunist don't need your help to expose themselves. But the moment that you decide to be still and ground your feet, clarity will always prevail. And this is what stood out for me. Because I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to validate his choice. And I told him, I said, listen, you can go that route if you want to and have the eye for an eye, and you'll end up losing far more than the investment was anyway. That's why things always come back. Because it's about divine intervention. It's about spiritual balance. Come on now, let's be honest. When God gets tired of you, He will sit you down. He will use whatever He needs to do to get your attention. And the worst way and unfortunately a lot of times it's manifested through pain. But you know what breaks my heart? Is that when I see a queen self-exploit herself because she thinks that that's a means of getting even. And I'll explain. Let's flip the scenario. Why wouldn't it have been more easier? We'll just use those two scenarios, or that one I just described. It would have been more admirable and respectful for that person to say, hey, you know what? I got an issue. We need to work through this. And then if it didn't work out, then you go about your business. Because then you have clarity and peace of mind knowing that you've done all you could do in that situation. But see, a lot of times people think that, well, you know what? It's easier to show you how I feel than to tell you how I feel. And they turn around and they pull a page out the revenge book thinking that, okay, message sent, received. I remember one time, matter of fact, I was act. I was. I was in the Air Force. I think it was my second tour, and I remember when I was in the desert, and I remember a story that reached us of a guy that he was over there during his deployment, and you would always get care packages. You know, they would come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you know, family members and friends they would send stuff. You know, and apparently this guy got this care package, and the care package, you know, had candy and socks and stuff like that, and there was a videotape in there. So apparently, the guy he's eating his cookies or whatever, you know, and he goes and eagerly goes to look at the video sent from his wife. And as he's sitting in there, he cuts it on. She's talking to him, and you know he's catching up with what she's conveying. And then the video kind of gets staticky a little bit, and then it stops. It cuts to another scene, and he sees his bedroom, and next thing you know, she is, yeah, and she looks at the camera, saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I want a divorce." So you can imagine that man was devastated. Number one, you're serving your country. You're thousands and thousands of miles away. So, you know, you're already fearful because of that. And then you've got this blow. Well, needless to say, they ended up having to get the chaplain involved. And he ended up having to, they sent him somewhere for observation. He wanted to take, of course, he wanted to take leave and get home. But they wouldn't let him because they knew if he got home, he ain't coming back. He gonna end up in jail doing something because of his pride is hurt. So needless to say, it made me think about that, but it also made me think about what my subscriber showed me, saying, well, you know what? All women, you know, like the Chris Brown song, all women ain't loyal. Well, I don't know what the song is, but you know what I'm talking about. And I thought about it. And my queens, it may seem fun in the beginning because you stuck the knife in that guy, right? You showed him. But why would it cost you your dignity? Why does it always have to take a blow to your self-worth and respect? And you know what, I thought about it. I said, you know what? Because I know people do that all the time. And a lot of that is perpetuated because of media. You've got, you know, you look at these music videos, and music videos are nothing but tutorials with music underlying. A lot of the things that we see in our society is projected out through videos. Because they know that if I got a music as a theme and illustration, you can retain what you just saw. And it's about changing the way you perceive life, right? That's why they exist, because they work. So, but I looked a little deeper and I thought about it. I said, you know what? Yes, you're a human being. And yes, you have free will. And yes, you can spend every day of your life with whoever, however, whenever you choose to. But when it comes to your respect and worth, that should be protected and held up high. So I responded after a while. I responded back to the subscriber, and I said, you know what? I disagree. It's unfortunate that, you know, situations like this play out. And what I did see was this person was young. You know, I would say in their 20s. And so, you know, I already correlated that, hey, you know what? This person don't even know who they are. You're in your 20s. You don't know who you are. You don't even know what your purpose is until you hit the back end of 30. You know, so you're not grounded. You're not. And but I saw it differently because a lot of times women don't realize this. See, every time, my queens, you take it upon yourself to embrace your pride, to embrace a position of spite or downright hate, and you use revenge as a means of expressing what you should have spoke, you end up paying for it. You end up paying for it because that was something you weren't supposed to do, and I'll explain it. Because see, the paradigm I saw in that situation was this. See, the guy that she was with did not love her. He's benefit. You just became a notch on his belt loop. And the person that loved you, you just lost. So guess what? Now you're out in the cold. So there's no winners in that. And, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and play coy because even my 20s, I made some choices that weren't in my best interest. Weren't. Not to the point that it was so radical, nah. But I realized even back then, and I told you, my subscribers, you're looking at a man that didn't see his self-worth because I didn't love myself. So there was a whole lot of women that should have not even heard me breathe because Gerald wanted to be loved. And I know some of you may be in this place where that's all you want. You want to feel protected. You want to feel emotionally safe. And a lot of times, what do? You use the one means of barter, which is your body, to somebody that don't even deserve, excuse me, that don't even deserve to have a conversation with you. And what do? They fill your heart, they fill your mind, they waste your time with a bunch of illusions. And what happens? You end up getting hurt. And unfortunately, they don't get it. But let's go back. Because you know your Lord. And don't worry about that. Because trust and believe, all things that we do and say, all acts that are taken from our existence are reviewed. You gotta own everything you do. You have to. And what happens at the divine moment of time, they're gonna go through a season of pain. That's how it works. That's how he is. He's a jealous but loving God. So my queens, my kings, it behooves you to not exploit yourself. That's why manipulation and control, they don't work. You know, it's like, but then you got some people just flat out just don't love themselves. So, you know, the misery loves company. And if they can, they will ride you like a pony. They'll ride you like a damn horse. And when you get tired, guess what? They're going to jump on another horse and ride on and like, oh well, defeat and leave you to your own demise. But guess what? Let them ride. Let them ride. Because what? They always try to come back. Sooner or later. It doesn't matter. It don't matter if they get married, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of my family that are on here in their 40s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? You've actually seen them grow. Well, you watch their lives do this. And you see things indirectly and say, damn, that's so unfortunate. You know? Because see, God He always reveals what's intended for you. He does. You do understand. You think I'm just saying this for my health? We do not have control of our destinies. We only have free will. And the moment that you come into a place of understanding, guess what? You just open the door for more revelations to come, more blessings to come. Now, the trade-off may be this. You can't walk with those people. And it may hurt. But you can't walk with them because they'll never love you. No matter what they tell you, they will never love you. Why? Because they don't love themselves. They don't respect themselves. So if they don't love themselves or respect themselves, how are they going to respect you? I know that needed to go out to someone. Come on now. See your work. My queens, there is no benefit in revenge. I know some of y'all, God, you put your heart, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and then the guy doesn't live up to his expectation. What do? You go brick his window. You flatten his tires. You go after whatever that person, what you think is what is of value. But here's the kicker about that. That's material. That can be replaced. Your time can't. But trust and believe when I say this. They're going to miss you. They're going to miss you. Because I've come to learn. The energy that you put out is the energy that you're going to receive back. So if your position is not of a loving place, you attract the same type of people. So if you if you have a position of being ratchet, which is nothing but really a misinterpretation of the word wretched, which is evil, you're going to attract that until you learn the lesson not to do that no more. That's how it works. If you can't speak your truth and all you do is lie, well, guess what? Everybody around you is going to lie to you. And guess what? They don't deserve to be in your midst because it's not blessed. That's why some of you, unfortunately, you're going to attract all the men you want, but they don't stick around. Why? Because it's not blessed. It's because it comes from you. You want a good man in your life? You have to exhibit that being a good woman. You can't straddle the fence. That's why God asks, who do you serve? Because you can't serve two masters. And guess what? I keep telling you, the person that's going to be in your life is going to be a spiritual woman or a spiritual man. And they fear God. Period. So therefore, they're not going to waste their time with somebody that don't know God. I don't care how you try to. You can be the best cook in the world, the best lover in the bed. Guess what? You'll be watching them marry somebody else because you refuse to see your worth. Don't do that. Listen, you are supposed to be happy. The moment you decide to ground your feet, the moment you decide to speak your truth, and the moment you decide to go inside that heart. Listen, every moment that you decide not to invest in yourself validates everything you went through was for nothing. You weren't brought on this planet to be abused. Some of y'all dealing with, you know what? I got this feeling in my heart right now, in my spirit, that somebody right now has been dealing with a sexual assault. And it's become common practice with you. Yeah, I'm talking to you because your heart's jumping. I feel your energy right now. It's time for you to speak your truth. Speak your truth. Stop being fearful. I know somebody said, well, I better, if I do, I'm going to be, listen, you give that to God and watch what God does. Maybe that's what God wants you to do. He's like, because He's not going to give you more than you can stand. But He is expecting you to honor Him. Because without Him, there would be no you. So, you're going to glorify and exalt your life? Or are you going to be like those people that end up regretting it? Choice is yours. That's all I'm saying. God loves you. He's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. And listen, where you've been is not where you're going. But it is important that you ground your feet today to reflect it all. Come on now. You deserve to be happy. All right, guys. I would love to hear from you. Like, don't like. But if it can help somebody, by all means, share. That's why they're there. And you deserve to be loved. All right, y'all. Put Him first. Stay protected. Stay blessed. But most importantly, you stay you. Bye.